Woonsocket.
Good morning and welcome to Coffee and, the longest-running panel discussion show in American radio. To make a comment or ask a question of the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email coffee@woonsocket.radio.com. And now, let's join the Coffee and panel.
Good morning to you. It is Coffee and time here on WOON AM and FM. It's Tuesday morning, October 21st, and we want to say good evening if you're listening in, because we're starting to replay the Coffee and program at night, 7 o'clock at night.
Well, it's about time.
Well, so if you're listening in at 7 o'clock in the evening, this has been recorded. So good evening to you. That's Gary Smith right over there. Good morning to you there, Gary.
Good morning.
Thanks for being here. Normally we have Ed Carew and Linda Tebow in on a Tuesday. They both can't make it today. So we said, I reeled in Gary, who was just walking down the street, and said, okay, Gary, come on in. And he's here. So there we go. And I reached out to AJ from the Do You Remember program to be here as well. He said he'd be here, but he has not arrived yet. So maybe he'll be here momentarily.
I want a gold star for attendance.
For being here, okay. And it's too bad because I had a good question for him, something that's going on in Pawtucket, and just see if he would if he had any information on that.
Well, you can ask me.
Okay, I can ask you. The Roast House restaurant that we all know is in Blackstone, Mass. They also have their roast house in Pawtucket, Rhode Island, and they have decided that they're going to close the Pawtucket, Rhode Island location this Saturday. October 25th is their last day. Just says, after 48 incredible years in the industry, it is with mixture of heartfelt emotion and gratitude that we share the news of the upcoming closure of our Roast House Pawtucket location. The last day will be Saturday, October the 25th. Wow. So I always thought, is it possible there, and it's not listed here of why, but is it, I just wonder if it's because the Pawtucket Red Sox left town. Did that really take sales?
I have no idea.
And drive. Oh, great! I'm glad Gary's got the information.
But restaurants in general, are suffering because if you've gone out to dinner lately in the past couple of years, it's really expensive.
Last time I went out, it was my wife and my daughter, and it was like $80. We weren't getting prime rib, you know.
Oh, I had steak tips the other night, and it's $30 for steak tips. Now that doesn't include drinks or anything like that.
Right.
And it's just a lot of money to go out. So I used to go out almost virtually every day, at least for lunch, and I don't do it anymore because it's just gotten so expensive. But there's another reason why restaurants are closing or not reopening, is because they can't get help.
Oh, that could be an issue too.
Nobody wants to work in a restaurant because it's too darn much work. And nobody wants to own one because it's too much work, and then they can't keep help because it's, what do you do when you have $50 to go out to dinner? If and then the roast house is one of the more moderately priced ones around, I think, as far as the quality of the food, which is excellent there in Blackstone. They have great steak tips, by the way. It's just how much can you leave for a tip?
Now they want you to leave like 30% now.
Well, it's ridiculous. I mean, I see that on Facebook all the time. If your dinner bill is $110, you should be leaving a $40 tip.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry.
AJ has made it in. Stuck in traffic, I see. Eh?
Oh, God.
A little tough coming up 146?
The worst.
Okay. But did you know the roast house in Pawtucket was closing?
No.
Oh.
Is the one in Pawtucket closing?
The one in Pawtucket is closing. The one in Blackstone is staying open. The one in there where McCoy Stadium used to be.
Yeah, that's closing?
This Saturday. So you still have time to go there if you feel like going there over the next few days. But they're basically saying we're tired and like that. And I guess they bought it in 2009. What was it called before it was called the Roast House? Because that building's been there.
Which location?
The Pawtucket location.
It's been a number of
It has been a number of... But Most recently, do you remember?
No, I don't.
Oh, I wish I could remember what the name of it
as
was.
has the Blackstone location.
Been a number of locations? Okay.
So the Blackstone location is staying open?
Yes, they're just going to focus everything on that one. And I was bringing up to Gary, I'm thinking, well, they're talking about it's time for a change, it's time to retire that location, and they don't mention it, but is it because the Pawtucket Red Sox left town? And sales just going down, and like Gary said, the price of everything going up, but with the lack of people going to McCoy, the lack of people going to that restaurant after games, down. They don't say that, but is that a possibility?
It's too bad they can't hold off until the new school is open. They get a lot of students.
I don't think they want
But
the
I've
students.
noticed less and less activity over there.
Yeah, okay. All right. Is that, you think that's, like what Gary said, due to lack of just high prices?
I think it's all the things that Gary said.
Yeah.
People don't want to work in restaurants. I know a number of them that have closed down because they couldn't get help.
In Pawtucket? Or just other restaurants in general?
In general, yeah.
It's weird, and it's around here too. There's a bunch of restaurants that don't open on Tuesdays because they can't get anyone to work that day. Which I think is just odd. Why is it? What is it about?
Wow.
What is it about today that people don't want to work? Is it just we've worked the entire weekend and okay, we're going to squeak out one more day, but we really need Tuesday off to rest.
Well, COVID really affected everything because people were getting paid not to work, and
Okay.
and people got into that mindset that I don't have to work to get money, and somehow they're surviving. And another thing about restaurants, well, two things. The restaurant owners that I know are having to pay so much. It used to be a waitress would get really like below minimum wage. Because,
Way below.
Way below, like $1.50 an hour or some stupid thing like that. I'm going probably back 20 years, but now they have to pay them, $15, $20 an hour just to have them come in.
On top of tips?
On top of tips. So it's really it's just mushroomed into this scenario where and the other thing is it used to be younger people would be waiters and waitresses and so on, but you have to deal with people when you're working in a restaurant.
Do you?
Yes.
Really?
and kids today are not used to talking to people face to face.
Writing things down.
No, they have no social skills because they spend all their time
That's
on
exactly
their
right.
phone.
Exactly right. When I have a really personable, competent young person waiting on me in a restaurant, I will outrageously. I've given as much as $100 to a young man one time that
was
just
good,
really
yeah.
impressed me, and I said, if you can't find a job, you come and see me, and I will hire you as a real estate agent because you have the person. You've got
the chops.
That's training for anything
Yeah.
in life.
Being a waiter.
When you can be a
Waiter,
good
waitress.
waiter
Okay.
or waitress.
All right. This portion of Coffee and, by the way, I forgot to run the commercial, is being sponsored by the Carew Investment Group. Ed will be with us relatively soon.
Are you retired or retiring soon? That's great. Congratulations. You may be retiring, but your money can't afford to retire. I'm Ed Carew of the Carew Investment Group at 2190 Mendon Road, Suite 3, Cumberland, Rhode Island. At the Carew Investment Group, we offer personal investment management of client money, especially from the proceeds of their 401k distribution after they leave the workforce. So to find out more about our services and for professional management of your investments, call Ed or Paul Carew at 765-8880. Securities are offered through Bolton Global Capital, member FINRA and SIPC, and advisory services offered through Bolton Global Asset Management, a registered investment advisor.
All right, Coffee and still moving right along. This is Joe Callahan along with Gary Smith and AJ Brissett, and they're from the Do You Remember program coming in to help us out today. So we thank you very much. So we just talked about the Roast House restaurant. It's going to stay open in Blackstone. Let's be very specific on that. They're staying open there, closing their Pawtucket location right on Industrial Highway. Well, pretty close.
Columbus Avenue,
Columbus
the Industrial
Ave.
Highway.
That's right. Yeah, so it's right there.
Yeah.
So doesn't say someone else is buying it. We'll have to see if someone else just comes in and takes it over and like that.
I'm sorry, what was that? Who's buying it?
I'm just wondering, is someone
Oh.
buying it?
Yeah.
Let's see. Restaurants, it's a lot of work, especially in the kitchen. Roast House was called My Brother's Pub. That's what it was
It
called.
was,
Very
but
good.
For a long time, it
Yes,
was my brother's
yes.
pub.
Thank you. That's right. All right. I can relax for the rest of the day.
Someone's listening.
Someone's thinking. I know that's what's
The
best.
one in Blackstone was Long John Silver's. Was kind of a biker bar, if I recall.
Not the chain restaurant of Long John Silver's of fish and chips.
No.
Actually, it's a good location for a biker bar.
Well, it is. It's in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And I'm surprised that one's surviving and the one in Pawtucket isn't. But
it's always crowded in Blackstone.
It is.
Lunch.
They do a heck of a business.
Yeah.
The waitresses are wonderful there. They're very they're like the kiss my grits kind of waitresses. I mean, at least our favorite waitress is over there, and she's it's and the people.
Yeah.
I have a ball with it tends to be an older crowd. And,
Okay.
And I have a ball when the older folks come in and sit next to us. We have quite the conversations.
Now, do you think, Gary and AJ, do you think it's because of technology that we have less and less interaction with the waiters and the waitresses?
I think
Now
that's
they
part
just
of it.
they just hand you, first of all they do is they hand you a sheet of paper and it's got a bunch of QR codes, and you have to look it up with your phone to get the menu, and that's how you pay, and that's how you call them over. They don't even come over to say how you doing.
See, I won't even go to a restaurant like that. I want a
But
real.
that- but it-
I
but it's
want a real
becoming-
menu.
But it's becoming more and more like that. You might have no choice in
Oh well.
next 10 years, let's say.
Yeah, I don't like that either, and I try to avoid them.
Yeah,
But as you said, there are more and more of them.
I know.
They've already
Mostly
lost.
chains.
They've already lost my lunch business for the most part because
Okay.
of
Because of the cost?
Yeah. I mean, I can't. I'm an old man. Yeah.
And you don't want the appetizer to be what the cost of a meal used to be.
Well, it is though.
I know it is.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
It drives you
It's like-
crazy.
it's like $14 sometimes for an appetizer.
Yeah.
I mean,
You're like,
that's-
that used to be the meal.
Yeah.
The Beef
Kinda.
Barn has reasonable prices.
Yes,
You
they
can
do.
always go to the beef
Yes.
barn. You
And
can-
if they can do it, why can't others?
two
I
two
don't know.
people can go to the beef barn and have lunch and with a $20 bill, and everybody's happy.
Right.
I had I won't say the name of the restaurant because it was a chain. They had one of those machines at your table. That's where you could pay if you wanted to. But on it was a bunch of games, like for kids to play. And so I gave it to my daughter at the time. Here you go, have fun. And she she was playing on whatever she was playing. Excuse me. And then the bill came. It was another $20 for playing the games. I said,
Oh.
hello, Miss Waitress. What is this for the $20? Oh, well, she was playing games on the thing that cost money. Where in the world in here does it say that? Well, it doesn't. They did take the $20 off. I said, if I had known that this was going to cost, we wouldn't have been playing games on the thing. So
happened
you
to-
got to be aware of that.
What happened to crayons on the placemat?
Well, because kids like their electronics and they want the little phone thing going. And
I like the crayons. For a long time, Cello's and some other restaurants used to have games available too. They were trivia games, and you would compete on the screen with people in
With other
other
people
restaurants
there?
all over the country. And
Oh,
it was-
really?
And it was free,
Yeah.
and then they started charging.
To play in the game
Yeah.
against
So they dropped it because obviously
because no one's playing.
right.
I've seen that in Massachusetts at a 99 restaurant where they play trivia, but with everybody within the restaurant, not outside. And only if you wanted to, they'd hand out pieces of paper, and someone asked questions, and you wrote them down, you passed them in like that.
Oh, this was trivia. You had a little console that you worked.
Yeah. Well, isn't the point of
And
going?
stuff would come up on the screen.
Well, isn't the point of going to restaurants to converse with the person you're at the restaurant with, and just you two or you four should all be talking to each other and not to a console? And
I
or am I too
going
old-fashioned?
I remember going to a restaurant one night, and there was a table where there were 20 people at the table, and
Okay.
and the whole night no one talked.
To each other?
Yeah, they were all on their phones
Wow.
the whole time.
Makes you want, were they talking to each other at the table or just other people outside?
Good question.
You just don't know because no one talked.
Well, I don't know, I know that's true and it happens all the time. But I got to tell you, I was delighted that we had Lynn's birthday party the other night at a local restaurant and
Up in Mendon, right?
Up in Mendon, and there was 16 of us there, and nobody was on their phone during the whole dinner, which
Wow.
was very gratifying.
That's great. Well, that's
That
all.
is
Not to
gratifying.
not to say Well, it's the age group. Would you say that's the situation?
Yeah, that's
Everyone
possible.
was basically 40
Yeah.
and over?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're being kind, but yes.
Note called in 766-1240. The Roast House in Blackstone is in a good location. After all, it is across the street from a cemetery, which is true. I don't know what makes that a good location.
I'm not sure. They're taking orders to go. I don't know.
Well, it works out perfect if you're going to have a funeral at that cemetery. All right, everybody get together at the Roast House for afterwards.
Yeah,
For collation,
little
right?
collation, yeah.
That'll make it nice.
Yeah,
and
but don't
nice
you
and
always
simple.
go to someone's house and have? I heard this expression the other day: funeral mac and cheese.
I have never heard that.
I saw it on Facebook the other day. Somebody was asking the same question. What is? My daughter wanted funeral mac and cheese. What is funeral mac and cheese?
What's the difference?
Well, apparently, funeral food after the funeral is everybody makes their best dishes. And apparently, mac and cheese with multiple cheeses is a very special mac and cheese,
dish.
and different macaronis.
Wow.
It's supposed to be
That's
supposed to be
a
really
thing.
good. So
All right.
I just find myself not being able to wait for someone to die before I have this delicious macaroni and cheese dish.
We'll see what we can do for you,
Yeah,
Gary.
so help me out here.
But I don't think I've gone back to anybody's house after a funeral. It was always to a restaurant of some kind, if they were having anything.
Used to be at houses anyway.
Yeah.
and,
It
did.
and I think it
We used to have wakes at houses
people
too.
that don't have a lot of friends, they still go do that because it's not a lot of people. But
All right, we're going to take a break here on the Coffee and Program. More coming your way, and this portion of the Coffee and Program has been sponsored by the Carew Investment Group.
They say in business you don't last very long if you don't know what you're doing. And if that's the case, we must know a thing or two at the Carew Investment Group because we've been in the business since 1987, helping people just like you with their investments. At the Carew Investment Group, we employ a conservative approach to client portfolios by using only the best quality companies available, many of which pay quarterly dividends. We look for opportunities that we expect to go up in value not every day, but over time. And we take our responsibility seriously and always place our clients first in any investment decision. If you'd like to know more or would like a free portfolio review of your current holdings, you can call Paul or Ed at 765-8880. Our office is located at 2190 Mendon Road, Suite 3 in Cumberland, Rhode Island, and we'd love to meet you and see if we can help you with your investing journey. Securities offered through Bolton Global Capital, member FINRA and SIPC, and advisory services offered through Bolton Global Asset Management, a registered investment advisor.
You have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-230-2777. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-230-2777. That's 800-230-2777 for $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-230-2777. 800-230-2777.
The Coffee and Panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee Roasters. All their coffee is roasted right here in Rhode Island. Down East Coffee Roasters is available at all Little General stores. Thanks for joining us here on the Coffee and Program. I'm Joe Callahan here with Gary Smith and AJ Brissett. All right, this is what's going on in Woonsocket, and it just keeps going on. It was a couple of weeks ago. We had 12 kids arrested at Woonsocket High School, fighting in the school. Last week, 4 more kids at the high school arrested for fighting. Yesterday, 2 kids arrested at the middle school here in Woonsocket for fighting.
And you and I have solved this problem.
Gary and I have solved it, AJ. And I brought up this idea yesterday And I got laughed at, but Gary likes my idea.
I want to go one better with your idea.
All right. And actually, your idea is it's similar to mine, but a little bit better.
And it's not original. But I remember after the school shootings became so prevalent, people started talking about having local veterans, retired veterans. Looking for something to do. To go there and take shifts in a school. One guy doesn't have to be the same guy all week unless he wants to, but have one or two veterans, just parole the hallways up there, and their very presence, I think, would stop it, especially if they're in some kind of intimidating military uniform. But you had some reasons why teachers can't get involved.
Well, it's the Rhode Island Department of Education. AJ said teachers cannot break up fights. It's a liability issue. So they stand there and go, please stop. Well,
hose them down.
Well, that would be great, but you can't have a fire hose, even a garden hose. You can't have a garden hose every 20 feet. So that's going to be tough.
Every teacher should have one of those brush packs that firemen have, with a pressurized.
Well, I thought about what about a fire extinguisher?
Same thing, only using water instead of chemicals.
Right. How about a taser?
No, then you're gonna.
Yeah,
that could get ugly after that. But we thought about because I thought we should have like guardian angels that ran the New York City subways for a long time, and go up to Planet Fitness and grab a bunch of people that are working out at 7 a.m. Well, you're obviously not going to. You're retired. You're not going to a job. Go patrol the schools.
But you had an interesting take on why they're happening in schools. Because, like you said, when we were younger, if you wanted to have a fight, you arranged a meeting place outside of the school.
Isn't that when you went to school, AJ? Wasn't that the same thing?
Yes.
We're going to fight after school. You didn't fight in school.
No, because you'd always get in trouble.
Yeah.
Because teachers would break it up.
That's
exactly.
right. That's right. Well, now they don't have to, and now I've been told.
Now they can't.
That's right. And now I'm told why they fight in school. Because they're concerned if we're going to meet somewhere else outside of school, someone's friend is going to bring a weapon, and then so we're safer to fight in the school, and so that's why they do it there.
It's tough to be a teacher in school. I was a teacher, and students can get really, really violent
with the teachers or with each other.
With the teachers and with each other.
Mm-hmm.
And that violence, frankly, is coming from their home experience. It's not. It's they didn't go to school just happy-go-lucky, skipping on my way to school kind of thing, and then turn violent. No, they brought it with them.
And I always want to know, and they never tell you. I don't know if it's a privacy thing or what. Okay, who are the people fighting? Boys or girls? What are they fighting over?
Well, they shouldn't be allowed back in the school system for,
Are they fighting over
extended period of time?
I agree, but are they fighting over cell phones? Are they fighting over boys and girlfriends? What is the concern of the fight? I think you can't make it. You can't fix it if you don't know what the fight's about.
Any of the stories I've ever heard, it's always about and girls are fighting as much as boys.
Yes.
It's she said this and I didn't like it, and
right.
It's usually involved a boy or vice versa. So.
The other thing, AJ, and maybe you dealt with when you were a teacher with the Rhode Island Department of Education, you can't expel kids anymore.
No, and you have to pass them.
And you have to keep educating them.
Right.
Well, how about this? If someone's fighting, okay, first of all, you're out of the school. However, if you want to get your high school diploma or your GED, and let's make it the GED, you have to come back to the school at night and take night classes in order to pass your GED. Go for a couple of months, take the test, and if you get it, great, see you later. But no more coming during the day.
Or maybe have an alternative school to send those kids to. Which,
now you got to build something.
And all this costs money. Well, not necessarily. Yeah. I mean, there's space around.
You like my GED idea?
The restaurants that went out of business.
I like the GED idea. I like that night school idea. But, I went to night school, and I'm nothing during the day. But at night, you should see me go.
Well, you could teach it at night. There you go.
When I first started teaching, I remember telling one of the teachers I worked with who had been there a long time, I said, I'm going to work this 3 ways. I'm gonna get friendly with the parents and the student, and that way we can make sure we ensure the student's success. And his teacher said to me, who was a veteran, he said to me, it's never going to work. He said, if you're having problems with students,
Okay.
you're going to find out that the parents are even worse.
Yeah, no, that's what
Yeah,
I said.
okay.
They're bringing it. They're
Right.
learning it at home,
Right.
and they're bringing it to school.
And he was right, because I tried it, and that's what I ran into.
Parents were more of a problem than the students?
Yeah.
Okay. I can understand that. We did get a note called in, 766-1240. We already have an alternative school, Gary. We call it the ACI.
Yeah.
And maybe they should...
Was that Rich?
No. But maybe, there you go. Teach them the GED while they're incarcerated.
Well,
Yeah.
that does happen.
Yeah.
At the training school or at the ACI?
Both.
Does it? Okay. And then you
If
can...
they want to. They're
Well-
not forced to.
Well, maybe they should be. Well, you can't. I guess you can't force them, but they're going to go nowhere if you don't have your high school diploma or a GED, unless and that's what they want to do. Just come out and sell drugs on the street. And if that's their career goals,
Well, these prisons that they have TV, some prisons have TVs
yeah.
available. Some
Sure.
in the room, some in a
Yeah.
public,
Common room.
more common room. Only broadcast educational
TV?
stuff,
Oh, all right.
documentaries and whatever.
like the History Channel
yeah,
or the
Like,
Discovery
brainwash the
Channel,
little
something like that.
suckers.
PBS. Well, you know, school is not like what it used to be.
Yeah.
For the teacher and the student, school used to be safe.
Mm-hmm.
You knew when you were dropping your kid off at school
Everything was fine.
that they were going to be okay.
Yeah.
When I was a student teacher, substitute teacher back in I'm going back into the 70s. I'd be sitting in the teachers' lounge with if you could hear through the thick smoke that was in the teachers' lounge, that they would always say I would take a cut and pay if there was more discipline.
Okay.
If we were allowed to do more discipline, or if just the parents would discipline their kids or whatever, it all came down to discipline.
And this was 50
Yeah.
years ago.
And this was 50 years ago. So
Yeah.
things have only gotten worse because nobody has, instead of nipping in in the bud,
Yeah.
and actually doing something about it, they've come up with either tolerating it or the wrong solutions or protecting too many rights. It's just not working.
AJ, what about the right of an education? And just make it
Mandatory?
no, make it voluntary. You want to be educated, you can go to school. You're going to be a jerk at school, we're not educating you. See you later. Bye.
That's an interesting idea.
Thanks. Do you like it? Do you not like it?
Only
This is-
if you're
I don't know.
employed.
Only if what? Edgar?
Only if you're employed.
Well, they might not be.
Because otherwise they're just going to be hanging around on the streets and
I know.
causing law enforcement problems.
That
Yes.
right?
So you're trading one problem for another.
Listen, the whole education system is in dire need of total reform.
Mm-hmm.
It's broken. It's severely broken, and I'm not sure it can be fixed.
I don't know how.
I don't either.
And I'm watching my daughter go through this, as she is a college student and wants to be an elementary school teacher. But I see what they're teaching her on the college campuses and how it's so skewed to the left. It's not they're teaching the teachers how to tell kids how to think, what to think, not how to think. And it's
Which is
just
totally
like, oh,
contrary
gosh.
to what their intention was.
Yeah. It's just the way I see it right now. And can it be fixed? Like AJ said, I don't know how it can be fixed.
Well, we have a president, love him or hate him, he's trying to do something.
With the education system?
Getting rid of the Department of Education and all the money they wasted, which has actually improved nothing in the educational system. So instead of spending all that money doing that, then put it somewhere else.
All right. Well, I still like the idea of guardian angels in the hallways.
We don't have very many local chapters of
I know we don't.
But the veterans thing could accomplish the same thing.
I think it would. You wear the black pants, the white T-shirt, red berets.
I don't think just going into the gyms and taking people that don't have any training is necessarily the right answer, though.
But they're the stronger people, you know.
Well,
but I like the idea of the veterans.
And kids are intimidated by size. I mean,
yes.
I had
look at you, Gary.
I've told this story when I was 6.5 feet tall, and when I was going into a substitute situation, and I had a kid who was a class clown, and the principal, who was my principal when I went there, called me up. He says, "I got a very, very tough job for you. This 7th grade class has just driven their teacher to a nervous breakdown.
Wow.
And she never came back to teaching. And I need somebody like you in there to get these kids under control." But it turned out there was just one kid that was setting the whole class
Being
off.
with everybody, okay.
And that he was a good kid. He was just bored and ended up being one of the top race car mechanics in the area.
Wow.
Later on in life.
Just needed some direction.
So I went in there. He immediately starts getting the class all riled up. I went over to him. No, I'm just, I'm in college. I'm taking a substitute job. I grab him by the scruff of the neck and his T-shirt. I lift him up with one hand. He only weighed about 70 pounds. And I bring him over and I hang him up on the hook on the green board. And they didn't have blackboards then. And I said, "When you want to behave, I'll let you down." And he didn't. That took about 10 seconds for him to decide he was going to behave. So I lifted him up off the hook, set him back down in his chair, and I had that class in the palm of my hand for the rest. They respect that kind of of authority.
But what would have happened to you today if you did that?
You couldn't.
Well,
he could do it, but then the repercussions afterwards.
Well, we did have a little
immense.
discussion about it, and he says, one of the kids said, "You can't do that. The teachers can't do that." I says, "I'm not a teacher."
Oh, I like that. All right, we're going to take a break here in the Coffee AM program, and more coming your way. 766-1240 if you want to call in a comment or question. This weather report being brought to you by Positive Coaching Alliance.
Sunny skies today with a high near 65 degrees and a breeze from the west up to 25 miles per hour. Tonight, showers are 60% likely after 3 a.m., increasing clouds all night, overnight low of 49 degrees. A tenth of an inch of rain is possible overnight. Wednesday's weather, 90% chance of showers all day, high of 64, southwest wind up to 25 miles per hour, between a quarter and a half an inch of rain on Wednesday. Thursday, back to the sunshine with a high of 60 and a west breeze up to 25 miles per hour. Friday, mostly sunny and 59, wind dies down. Saturday, sunshine and 57. Sunday, mostly sunny skies and 55. And on Monday, mostly sunny skies, high near 54 degrees.
Outside the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Ave and Kennedy Street, sunny skies with 50 degrees. Questions about youth or high school sports? Positive Coaching Alliance can help. PCA, a national nonprofit organization, develops better athletes and better people through youth and high school sports. Info at positivecoach.org.
Is your relationship with your bank in a rut? Might be time for someone new. At Navigant Credit Union, we offer better rates, fewer fees, and support that puts you first. Don't put it off. Join Navigant Credit Union today. Federally insured by NCUA.
Every day in all our lives, math matters, Rhode Island. Math matters to the farmer planting his fields and the chef measuring every ingredient. It matters in cybersecurity, analyzing data to assess risk. Math matters to the sculptor, scaling the size of his creation, and to the software engineer tracking performance. It's a life skill we need every day. That's why math matters, Rhode Island.
Brought to you by the Rhode Island Broadcasters Association and Always Learning Rhode Island.
Local and live at 99.5 FM.
It is Coffee and on ON. Thanks for joining us. Joe Callahan here, along with AJ Brissett and Gary Smith. Thanks for joining us. We had a shooting in your city, AJ, on Smithfield Avenue. Do you know where Smithfield Avenue is?
I can account for my whereabouts at the time
I
of the
wasn't
alleged
accusing
incident.
you. Yeah, where were you on? This happened.
Yes, of course I know where Smithfield Avenue
Okay,
is.
this happened on Friday, 4:30 in the afternoon, on Smithfield Avenue. Gunshot victim arrived at the hospital. Said the person's injuries did not appear to be life-threatening. No other information was released by the Pawtucket police. So,
What was the reason for the shooting?
they don't give you that a reason either, and they don't say if the victim is cooperating with the police or not. So, So that's just what's happening there in Pawtucket. Did you hear what happened at Foxwoods Casino yesterday?
No.
A hostage situation at one of the hotel rooms.
A hostage situation?
There was someone with a gun was holding, I think it was 2 women inside one of the hotel rooms. They had to call the Mashantucket Tribal Police, Ledyard Police, Connecticut State Police. Huge police presence I guess there's 2 hotels at the casino.
There are more than 2.
Are there? Oh, okay. Well, this is just that one, and so, but it all ended okay. He eventually let the 2 women go, and they got that person. They were able to enter the hotel room, but it was a big to-do yesterday, basically yesterday morning into early afternoon, of basically a hostage situation at the casino. It's like, wow. And people, their usual jokes. We probably lost a lot of money at the at the blackjack table. So, I don't think that was the case though. So that's what happened in Ledyard, Connecticut yesterday. It all ended just fine. Let's see. I don't know if you're following this story, but the Rhode Island man who allegedly faked his own death and then fled to Europe, and then they brought him back to Utah because for a rape case. He was sentenced in a rape that happened in 2008.
This has been going on for so long.
Yeah. Well, look at 2008 for that case.
Have they finally?
He was sentenced yesterday to 5 years to life and 5 years to life on one rape conviction, with sentencing for a rape in Orem, Utah, that is scheduled for next month. So I guess there's 2 counts.
Yeah, he's the one that's been in a wheelchair.
Yeah. He keeps
oxygen,
saying, I'm not the guy you're looking for.
I'm not the guy. And they say there's no reason for him to be on oxygen or in a wheelchair.
Okay.
All this has been faked.
Yeah.
This has been going on, like you said, since 2008.
He
tried to he's convicted.
Tried to fake his own death to avoid the charges. He fled to Scotland. And then hung out in Scotland for a long time.
It wouldn't matter if he was convicted. He'd be out on the street. Look at this beauty queen, this young black woman in Pennsylvania, I think it was, or Virginia, I forget where, her body was just found after missing for 2 weeks. And they arrested the guy who did it, or they believe did it. And he'd been arrested for a similar offense before that and let go. I mean, he's out on the street, and what happens if you keep doing something that's illegal, but you don't get punished for it? Well, you just keep on doing it
because nothing happens.
Because nothing happens. It's prevalent in this country, and it's got to stop.
Well, we don't know what's going to happen to this guy, the Rhode Island guy that's out in Utah.
He's a Rhode Island guy?
He's originally. I'm not sure what town he's from, but he was out in. He went to Utah first, got in trouble out there, then he fled to Scotland. They extradited him back to Utah in 2023, so it took him quite a while to get him back, to come back in the United States.
That's a strange sentence, 5 years to life.
It is strange, unless it's supposed to be 25 years to life, but they could have missed a word.
There's very simple evidence that force and punishment works.
Mm-hmm.
How many drug dealers are taking their boats off the Venezuelan coast these days?
The ones we keep shooting?
Yeah. You only have to blow up a few of them before the rest of them get the message.
I always find it funny. It's mostly in the Middle East or in the Gulf over there, where the pirates try to take on the U.S. Navy. They said, and there they are with their pistols,
yep. And
here come the guns from the Navy ships. I'm like, what are you guys thinking? That think you're going to take over the warship? I said.
Well, I don't think they think they're going to take over the warship. I think that they think nothing's going to happen to them.
Well, until that boat blows up.
Piracy is still prevalent out
there,
though.
It is. In a different water. Off India, it's an issue.
Off of Africa?
Yeah. So you gotta be careful out there on the water, because it still happens. Not quite the way it was back in the 1600s. They're not looking for gold, things like that. They're looking to kill, kind of thing. All right, let's see. Anything else in better news? Let's see. The newly released Michelin Guide of Hotels ranks 4 hotels in Newport among the best in the world. Best in the world. The Castle Inn and Resort and Chandler at Cliffwalk are described as exceptional stays. The Cliffside Inn and the Vanderbilt are considered, quote, a very special stay. Hotels were judged by Reviewers on factors including architecture and interior design, service, value for the price, and significant contribution to the guest experience. So there you go.
Castle Hill is a beautiful area.
Is it? Okay. Is it on the Ocean Drive? I'm not sure where it is.
I don't know.
No, but it's Newport. That's all that really
It's
matters.
Newport. Oh, yeah, it's Newport.
So it's nice down there. You ever stay anywhere down there, Gary?
Big wedding venue.
I never stayed down there, but
No?
there's the restaurant called the Black Pearl down there.
Oh,
that
yeah, I played there.
That I used to take my dates to.
Yeah. Ooh, try to impress them
They had some of the best
I
clam
can tell you
chowder I've
that it
ever
did.
had.
at the Black Pearl.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Let's see.
Now Lynn's going to be upset because I never.
You never took her.
there.
No, this weekend. You got a point. All right. Just jumping back to the Karen Reed trial, because it just keeps coming up in the news. The former Massachusetts state trooper who was fired over his misconduct allegations, Michael Proctor, after Karen Reed's first trial, was trying to get his job back. He wanted to go back and be a Mass state trooper. He finally said, "Forget it." He withdrew his appeal. No. Trooper Michael Proctor has withdrawn his appeal. Members of the Massachusetts Civil Service Commission were set to resume Proctor's appeal today. Since Proctor has withdrawn his appeal, the next step is for the commission to order a complete dismissal. You're just fired, and I don't know if he gets any kind of benefits, any kind of pension or anything like that but if you're fired, usually you don't get that kind of stuff, right? It just all gets forfeited. It's just gone. So, nope. The report came out yesterday about the fire at the Gabriel House in Fall River, and they said what could have been done better at this assisted living place, and they said that it really needs to be up to the strict fire codes that nursing homes have. And what this place didn't have were the fire doors to contain fires and contain the smoke. And what they really had a problem with were the window air conditioners in the people's rooms, and they couldn't get people out the windows because the air conditioners were in the way. They were pulling them out of the smaller windows in the bathroom, which must have been very difficult if you weren't going to fit through the window. So they want the whole thing in Massachusetts for assisted living facilities, group homes, and daycares to be updated to what nursing homes are like. Now, Gary's kind of smiling.
I just got a text from Lynn saying, "Yeah, that's where we're going for dinner."
Has she already made reservations?
she probably is.
All right. Well, there you go. So we'll see if that goes anywhere with the Gabriel House. 10 residents died in that fire. 30 were injured, probably being pulled out of bathroom windows. That's all I can think of. All right, we can get you out. This is the only way out through the broken glass. How many stitches does the people require as you get raked through the glass?
The bathroom windows are usually pretty small. I'd be in trouble.
That's right. Yeah, and so that's what took place there. So
I had to say that before Peluso called and said it.
You're not going out the bathroom window?
No.
Is that what he's going to say?
No, she came in through the bathroom window though.
I've heard that.
Yeah.
Let's see. A Rhode Island man facing multiple firearm charges in Boston. They stopped a car on Saturday night, traffic violation on Blue Hill Avenue in Roxbury. Authorities say 44-year-old Stanley Pierre Lewis of Providence did not have a valid driver's license. In his vehicle, officers found a loaded ghost gun and a fully loaded ammunition magazine. He probably didn't have his gun permit with him either.
I was just going to ask if he was licensed for that.
I'm gonna make an assumption and say no. If you don't have your driver's license,
Yeah.
you're not gonna have that either, right?
Oh, I know. The first thing that thinks about me when I want to go kill somebody is make sure I'm legal.
That's right. Last night at the Woonsocket City Council meeting, there were 2 establishments in town, 2 bars, basically the Dollhouse and Little Lena's, and they put in applications. They wanted to have their hours and their liquor license extended, and they wanted, instead of closing at 1 a.m., we want to close at 2 a.m. And we had the president of the Woonsocket City Council on yesterday, Dan Jenner, and I asked him specifically, in the application, do they put down why they want this? No, you don't have to. You just fill out the right paperwork and submit it. So I was just wondering, are there customers asking them, "Gee, we wish we could stay here. I wish you could be open longer," but they said, "Well, no, we really don't know why they want this." They said they may show up at the city council meeting to explain why they want this. So I took a listen in last night, and nobody showed up from these two establishments to voice, yes, this is why we want to do this, and this is why it'll be a good thing. No. So when they asked people to talk, Publix, about what do you think about this 2 a.m. meeting, everyone came out and said, we think this is a lousy idea. And even the police and the public safety director and the mayor came out
I've
said this is a lousy idea.
I've never been to these establishments, but do they serve food there?
Yes, not like a real sit-down restaurant, but you could get, like, let's say chicken nuggets, maybe some mozzarella sticks. I think Little Lena's has pizza you can get out, finger pizzas that you can get out of a small oven. So yeah, they do.
Okay.
They do serve
Well, I just
food.
wondered if their business is suffering like every other business out there. But,
Well, I don't know. There could be a lack of patrons, but what came up mostly, and the mayor talked about this, is back when there were some businesses that had the 2 a.m. license, people would leave the other bars that only had the 12 o'clock or the 1 a.m. license, rush over to the other bar that had the 2 a.m. license to continue drinking. And he goes, it was just...
and that's
this
what
is
you
the mayor's
want,
words.
a bunch of drunks rushing
Coming
over
in
to another
for
place
more
to get
drinks.
more drunk. Yeah, that's what you want.
And the mayor actually said it would be chaos, from 1 in the morning to 2, because all these people would rush in so they could continue drinking. He says it's a terrible idea. It was voted down yesterday by the city council, 6-1. Most of them were all against it. One person, Christina Fox, said, I don't see what the big problem is. If you go 5 minutes up the road into Bellingham, I'm not sure where in Bellingham who's got a 2 o'clock license, but they have it. So what's the problem? But it was voted down 6-1. So
we have a brand new strip club in Mendon that was very controversial, and I don't think it's causing any problems. It's a beautiful facility, and I know my good friends across the street were very upset that this was going in there, and I said, all you have to do to inhibit business is put up a camera on a website from your driveway across the street to their driveway, get the license plates of all these patrons there, and put them on a website, and every man's wife will be looking if their husband isn't home to see if they're going there, and that would probably impact the business a little bit.
were they a residence right across the street?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, they had a business and their home across
Across the street. Okay. But they've been there in Mendon, I don't know how long, but everything okay? No?
I'm not hearing any incidents
It's
at
a-
all.
it's a-
And you know what's funny is there was a bar owned by a good friend of mine down the street next to the Mendon Drive-In called the Zone that used to have he paid his mortgage payment every month by having male strippers come in, and no one ever complained
no one
about
said
that.
boo?
And from what I hear, women are so much more
Wild.
difficult and wild than the men ever were.
Yeah. Okay. If you talk to the Woonsocket police, everything over at the Dollhouse, there's never an issue over there. They're never in the news. There's never any fights.
The owner's name is Keith Usher. He lives in Mendon.
That's right. Yeah. They want to change the name. That was part of the thing yesterday. They got to reapply to have the name changed. I think they want to go from the Dollhouse just to Rhode Island Dolls. But that got shot down because it was all part of one big thing with the 2 a.m. license. They said, we can't separate things out that we want, because they wanted to approve the name change, the city council. They said we can't do it because it's locked in with the time. So we have to say no to the whole thing. They now have to reapply to get the name change, which really shouldn't be an issue. So, but yeah, you talk to Woonsocket police, very rare something happens over there in an illegal fashion.
Well, and there could be a reason for that, because someone told me this. Someone who I believe should know what he's talking about. You can have any all the strip clubs you want, but the girls are controlled and provided by the underworld, what they used to call the mafia.
I don't know if that's the situation over there.
And I don't. Well, I don't think you have a choice.
Oh.
According to my source, you don't have a choice.
That's Rhode
and
Island,
and
so-
because they're involved, maybe that's kind of like the.
Are they the security then?
They're just the fact that they're involved in it means you don't screw up.
Okay, good theory.
Kind of makes sense.
It's a very good theory. All right, we're going to take a break here on the Coffee and program, and more coming your way. Please stick around.
ON Radio.
My perfect day has sand, salt water, and friends. But my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can take me out of the moment. Now I'm all in with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi. Risankizumab Riza, a prescription-only 150 milligram injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. With Skyrizi, most people saw 90% clearer skin, and many were even 100% plaque-free at 4 months. Skyrizi is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
Thanks to Skyrizi, there's nothing on my skin, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
ON Radio. It is Coffee In here on ON Radio. Thanks for joining us. Joe Callahan here with A.J. Brissett and Gary Smith. I don't know if you heard this yesterday. Former Fall River mayor was stabbed outside a cannabis place that he owns. It's just, I'm like, wow, that's odd.
No problem with that application.
A suspect's being sought in the stabbing of the former mayor. His name is Will Flanagan. Police say Flanagan was attacked late yesterday afternoon near the 100 block of Hartwell Street. He was taken to an area hospital, which is right in Fall River, listed in serious but stable condition. There's no word on a motive, and maybe it is the prices. I don't know if you ever, if you don't have to say or not if you go into these places, but legalized cannabis is extremely expensive.
It is,
and
it just is.
There are, I think, 4 within 3 miles of my house.
Of men, okay.
Of these cannabis. And
there's a couple in Uxbridge.
They are. It's very hard to get those licenses, or very expensive, I should say.
Yeah.
But and I think they're gonna put each other out of business. I think that 10 years from now, you're gonna see 2 or 3 of those gone.
Gone and just knock it down to the bigger ones.
I'm working for one now. I have no use for the product whatsoever. I never have. But I'm trying to rent some garage space that is adjacent to in the rear of the building of one of the cannabis places in Mendon, and dealing with this corporation is a nightmare.
Is it because it's still a federally illegal substance?
They can't make any decisions without having a board meeting.
That kind of thing.
It takes a week to get a simple answer.
Like a yes or no?
I have had a tenant trying to get in there for 3 months, and they're impossible to deal with. Frankly don't want to work for them anymore.
Wow. Okay.
They're just too difficult.
Well, I think it's funny, Joe, when you talk about legal cannabis, because a number of states have legalized cannabis. However, it's still federally illegal.
That's right. Isn't that bizarre?
It is. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think it's humorous.
And I always think it'll take one politician, one U.S. senator or one U.S. representative to bring it up that says we really should take this off the list of banned substances and make it legal. But no one wants to do this because they don't want to be tagged as the person that legalized marijuana.
Didn't you tell me you had the Woonsocket chief of police in here saying that the traffic stops for marijuana usage has increased dramatically?
Well, sure.
Yeah, I mean, it's not as safe as people have been led to think it is.
No, it's not.
Like this just happened this past weekend. My daughter, part of, even though she's going to school, she does work part time at a Dunkin' Donuts, and a woman just came by, and not the one in Attleboro, but she works at the one in Norton, and a woman came by and scraped the side of the building, and basically totaled her car, and she told me later on, after the police were talking to her for a little while, she was charged with driving under the influence of something. It wasn't drunk, but she was high.
It should be illegal just because of the smell.
Yeah. I agree.
But what about people that say that need it for medical purposes? It helps with their cancer treatments.
And I have, someone very close to me absolutely needs it to calm down, and I believe it, knowing his history. Yeah, I don't have an issue with medical. If anything that relieves pain, if you're in pain, that's fine. I don't have an issue with that. I can, your
AJ?
needs supersede mine.
AJ?
Well, the jury's still out on whether it is effective or not.
Mm-hmm. For medical?
Medically, yeah.
Then why is it okay to have it? You remember people could get it. They had that medical green card.
It's a good excuse to get it.
Just to use it?
Yeah.
Okay.
All you have to do is tell your doctor that you want a prescription for it.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Is it? You think it's psychological? If you think it's going to alleviate your pain, then if you take it, then it will.
I don't know.
It's a very philosophical question.
I don't know, but I keep reading that it still hasn't been clinically proven that it's effective.
All right. Do you want to go now? Do you want to go Gary's way and just make it and go back to making it completely illegal? Or let's go back and take it off the federal list and make it not illegal federally.
I think it's like booze. You can make your own booze. You can grow your own marijuana. As much as I think it's stupid to use this stuff, unless it's relieving some pain,
all right.
I would actually go the route of making it totally legal to grow, and just grow your own, and maybe you'll grow some tomatoes and squash at the same time.
Smoke those.
It is legal to grow it in Rhode Island, but only so much.
Only so much.
Yeah.
I think
it's legal
true.
to grow it in Massachusetts.
Yes, it is, but only so much.
Like 7 plants or something like that.
Yeah, 6 or 7 plants.
If you go over that, then now you're cultivating, and now it's.
I have a friend who.
Unless you're a
grows
business, there's a business in Bellingham that provides the marijuana for the shops in Worcester. And that's all they do at this. It's a very nondescript building. I know where it is, but if you don't know where it is, you would never know that's what's going on inside the building.
I remember when states, Massachusetts and Rhode Island specifically, were considering whether or not they wanted to allow marijuana businesses. And what they always said was, well, we're not going to allow any more than 4 or 5 statewide.
Dispensaries?
Yeah.
Well, that's...
Now they're everywhere.
They're right. No, they advertise on billboards up and down 95.
Yeah.
Going through Pawtucket and into Providence. This one, take this exit, take this. We're right here, kind of thing. It's like
there's a big one right there in Pawtucket.
Yeah,
right along the highway.
I'm surprised they don't have a drive-through.
They do.
They do. They.
Yeah.
You can get off, get it, and get right back on the highway like a Dunkin' Donuts.
That's it.
All right. Let's see. All right. Other things going on. It's spider season in Florida. Do you like spiders?
Spider season?
Yeah. Some of the state's most prominent spiders will become more visible over the next several weeks. Partly due to increased mating behaviors in the fall and the Halloween holiday. Dr. Lisa Taylor with the University of Florida's Institute of Food and Ag Sciences says this time of year people are thinking about spiders, so they're noticing more and more of them around. Some spiders to be wary of include black widows and brown recluse spiders. Although recluses are rare in Central Florida, they've been found in Orange, Osceola, and Polk counties, in case you happen to be traveling to Florida. Be on the aware, it's spider season.
Wow.
Down there.
I just had a big one in my yard. I don't know what kind it was, but it was big.
Did you kill it?
No, I let it go. I just let it stay where it was, right hooked up to my trash can.
And you just let it go, huh? All right, that's cool. Let's see, what else is going on? Smart glasses help blind patients read.
I read about that.
Some patients with a progressive form of blindness are able to see well enough to read books thanks to an eye implant and smart glasses. The patients who suffer from age-related macular degeneration were given an implant under their retina that links with a pair of smart glasses. The device was created by Science Corporation, founded by Max Hodak, who also co-founded Neuralink with Elon Musk. The results of the study were published Monday in the New England Journal of Medicine.
Well, one of our callers on Do You Remember is our good friend Rob from Salem. He works for the state, and he's at home, and he's blind, and he has
Legally
those.
blind?
He has those
Smart glasses?
Yeah,
And it helps him read?
something like that, and he has no problem reading. It scans it and reads it back to you, apparently, or something like that.
That's cool.
So you're listening to it?
Yeah.
You're listening to what you're reading?
Yeah. I'm not totally up to date on the technology, but yeah, he's a perfectly functional human being.
I don't know if you know
vision-wise.
what's the cost on these smart glasses.
I'm sure it's not cheap.
Oh, I'm sure it's not. And I don't. Would health insurance help pay for these babies?
I don't know. I don't
Okay.
know. It should, but I don't know.
Health insurance should pay for hearing aids, and they don't do that. So, which I find bizarre.
Yeah, well, I think that's a husband lobby that's promoted that.
On that terrible joke, Gary, AJ, do you have a thought for the day?
I do have a thought for the
I'm
day.
glad I remembered it. So go ahead.
If you're in the 12th grade, do not join a senior dating service.
Unless you have a very bizarre fetish. All right, that'll do it for the Coffee and program for today. But stick around, because Gary and AJ are coming back in about 5 minutes, along with others, on the Do You Remember program, coming up after the 9 o'clock news here on ON Radio.
Broadcasting live and local daily from the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. This is WOON Woonsocket Radio. And now, the news.
NBC News Radio, I'm Michael Kastner. Vice President J.D. Vance is in Israel today and tomorrow. He's expected to travel to the headquarters for the International Task Force overseeing the Gaza ceasefire, according to Israeli reports. He'll be meeting with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu tomorrow. Vance's arrival came after Hamas on Monday night returned the body of another dead hostage to Israel. Blake Sifton with more.
Hamas returned the body of deceased Israeli hostage Tal Haimi on Monday night. He was killed at his kibbutz on October 7th. While 13 bodies have now been returned, Israel is still waiting for the return of 15 of the 28 hostages whose bodies were in Gaza at the time the ceasefire was agreed.
Hamas says it will need more time and heavy equipment to retrieve those bodies. Israel is accusing Hamas of deliberately delaying the return in violation of the Gaza ceasefire agreement. President Trump has the court's permission to deploy National Guard troops to Portland, Oregon. That's the ruling from the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. The panel said in its 2-1 ruling on Monday that presidential determinations are not reviewable by federal courts. The dissenting judge blasted that ruling as absurd. The city of Chicago is suing the Trump administration over alleged unlawful restrictions of federal emergency grants. Perry Williams in Chicago.
Mayor Brandon Johnson says the city will not stand by while the Trump White House weaponizes emergency funding.
We know that he has declared war on our city and cities across this country, and this action is baseless.
The lawsuit claims the federal government imposed unlawful conditions relating to DEI on grants from the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. The funds mentioned in the suit are earmarked for the city's emergency response through DHS and FEMA grants.
Michael Kastner, NBC News Radio.
Lou Mandeville here with a look at sports. The Boston Bruins return home tonight after completing a winless road trip, and they'll host the defending Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers and former captain Brad Marchand, who will make his first appearance on ice as an opponent at the TD Garden. Marchand will be $5,000 later in the wallet after being fined for unsportsmanlike conduct against the Buffalo Sabres last week. Monday Night Football action last night, 2 games. The Detroit Lions beat Tampa Bay 24-9. Javier Gibbs with 218 total yards in the contest and 2 touchdowns for Detroit. Zach Charbonnet scored 2 touchdowns for the Seattle Seahawks as they prevailed at home over the Houston Texans 27-19 in the other contest. Blue Jays beat the Mariners 4-3 in Game 7 of the American League Championship Series last night. They'll be going back to the World Series. George Springer's 3-run homer was the big blow. That is your look at sports for WIN Sports. I'm Lou Manigan.
When you're ill and need same-day care, remember North Smithfield Urgent Care and Lincoln Urgent Care for affordable and accessible care. You'll always be seen by a board-certified physician who will assess the problem and make you feel safe and reassured. Both centers can help you with a wide range of symptoms and ailments, including flu, fractures, allergies,